Let's go. Hello, everyone. A very good evening to you all, and you're welcome back once again to Pedro Apollo's podcast. As always, your number one show, your number one live show on earth. There is no other show like this, believe me. And I'm so happy to be with you all here once again this evening. It's a beautiful evening, and I have with us today in the studio Mr. Obina Stanley. Hello, Obina.
Hello, Mr. Pedro, and hello, viewers. Thank you so much for having me.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. It's a pleasure for me to have you here in the studio tonight. And as always, we have a very beautiful and amazing discussion for all of us here tonight. And it has to do with the essence of being your brother's keeper. It's a very interesting topic that I believe we will all enjoy together. I'm so happy to be able to do this discussion tonight once again with Mr. Obina. As always, it's a pleasure for me, and I thank you, our listeners, as well. Those of you that watch us here on Facebook and on YouTube, my special thanks to you all. And as always, I promise to always come over with great topics that will be of interest to each and every one of you. And if you like content of this nature, as I've always asked any of you to do, please like and share and comment. Let us know in the comment section what you feel, how you feel about the topic, what is your opinion, and anything that you want to share with us. As always, Pedro Apollo's podcast is a platform for everyone, irrespective of what you believe or not. It's a home for all of us. You're always welcome and feel free to share your idea. Today, we'll be talking about the essence of being your brother's keeper, as I said earlier on, and having friendship that is meaningful to us is something that is very important as human being. Is one of the determining factor of being successful in life, and having the possibility to attain a state of mind that could generally be considered as a social well-being. When one has some friends that they can call on, when one has some friends that they can share and discuss issues of life with. But friendship as well could be very chaotic to manage. And I do believe that a lot of people do not even know what friendship is all about. To each to everyone out there, we all have our definition of what friendship is all about. So I am curious to know, and I hope that through our discussion tonight, we'll be able to have one or two ideas on what friendship is all about. And to kick up the show, I will ask, Mr. Binan, what, what makes a good friend, if I may ask? You and I have known each other for quite some time. I did consider you as a great friend, but you and myself are not the subject of tonight. We are speaking generally. In your opinion, what makes a good friend?
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you for having me on this show tonight. I must confess, you are really doing a great job, trying to um, put these things, bring these topics for discussion, making it come to limelight what people think, having different ideas about what people understand concerning any topic that you decide to bring on this platform. I want to really commend you for what you're doing. And if you continue like this, I must let you know that the sky will actually be your starting point.
Thank you so very
Now,
much. I'm blushing. I'm so grateful. And if you remember, last week I had the pleasure of having EC Nedbenebo all the way from
mm,
Greece.
mm,
It was a great pleasure for me, and I encourage anybody that have not seen that video to go and please watch it. Thank you again
mm,
once. Thank you once again, Mr. Obinan. I just chipped
you're
that
welcome.
in the sense that we are spreading gradually. It's going from one country to the other, and soon we'll be very close to a neighborhood near you.
Exactly, exactly. I will commend you for it. Keep it up, keep it up.
Thank you so much, brother. I'm so
Now,
grateful.
okay. Now that said, the question is, who is a good friend, right?
I mean, what makes a good friend?
Okay, what makes a good friend? All right.
Yes,
For us to understand what makes a good friend, it's very, very imperative that we understand what a friend is. Because when you talk
good.
about what makes a good friend, without having an understanding of a friend, the meaning of that word friend, then there might be a mix up somewhere. So,
Okay.
that said, what is a friend or who is a friend? There are
Mm-hmm.
several definitions of friendship. There are thousands of them, but I was able to, get very few of them that I believe by the time I share them with you, you will agree with me. Now, a friend is usually someone who offers you support, improve your quality of life, promote your self-confidence, provide honesty. The key word there is honesty and unconditional love, and help you progress mentally. That's a friend. A friend is that person who has a strong liking for someone or
Mm-hmm.
strong trust for someone. A friend is that person who is not an enemy. A friend actually is the opposite of an enemy. A friend is that person with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically the one that is exclusive of sexual or family relations, because when they say friendship, people they bring some kind of idea into it, but sexual relation has nothing to do with friendship.
Okay.
Somebody can be a friend of another person of the opposite sex, and it will just be friendship, true, in every sense of the word,
Mm-hmm.
no strings attached.
No string
Now,
attached.
yes, a friend is that person with whom one has a bond. Okay, like I've said before, a person
Mm.
attached to another by feelings of affection or personal regard. A friend is your body. A friend is your pal. A friend is your comrade. Someone you know personally, someone you trust and like enough to hang out with on a regular basis in some cases. So
Mm-hmm.
that is a friend. So by the time you bring all these definitions and put them together, you will discover that this is what a friend is all about. Now, what makes a good friend? The thing I believe that makes a good friend is somebody that goes beyond these qualities that I've mentioned so far, because we know
Good.
what a friend is. So somebody that is a good friend is one that goes beyond these qualities I've mentioned so far.
Yes,
That is a
because
good
I
friend.
asked, what is a good friend? It is said that because I'm happy that you said a friend. You present the characters that makes a good friend. I will
Mm,
consider them as characteristics of what makes a good friend or what friendship is, which is good. But the question therefore is what makes a good friend? Because as we have a good friend based what could be as we have what a friend is based on the characteristics that you enumerated, there could be good and bad in this type of a friend, because somebody of this nature could end up overshadowing the person who needed that friendship. What I'm trying to say is that if a friend is all this that is described of what a friend is, do you think it might end up overshadowing the advancement or the ability to do for oneself if one consider one another person a friend with all of these qualities? So I genuinely would like to know what makes a good friend. I'm trying to make a case in the sense that as we have good, there's going to be a bad one as well. So let's believe generally things are good, but can we define what makes a good friend?
What defines a good friend is, you know, the word there is good. Just like we have good, we have bad.
Yes,
I have been able to enumerate several qualities of a friend.
a friend.
But what makes a good friend is someone that is way, able to go beyond these qualities that I've mentioned. And there's
Absolutely.
something we have
Let,
to,
let's
there's something we
let's
have to,
use what is generally known. Or let me bring it down in a way that it will be clear to everyone. A friend that is thicker than a brother.
yes. A friend that is thicker than a brother is the one that is willing to stand by you through thick and thin when your brother is not even aware of what you are going. Now, let me break it down. There are some things that a man or a woman or an individual might be going through in life that
Mm-hmm.
he may not be willing to share with his brother or his sister, but
Okay.
he is willing to share with a friend. I've been in several situations like that in the past. I was not able to share it with my family members. I was not able to share anything that I was going through at that point in time in my life with
Mm-hmm.
anybody that is of the same descent with me. But I was able to share it with a friend. You understand? And the reason why I was able to share with a friend was because the person in question is a true friend. In fact, is a good friend. He goes beyond these qualities that I have mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why I said, that's why I use that to answer your question that says, what makes
A good friend.
of a good friend? Somebody that is willing to go beyond, willing, that willingness, the willingness must be there. Why? Because we live in a world today where selfishness and selfish interest has become the order of the day.
Absolutely.
When somebody is willing to go beyond these qualities that I have mentioned here,
Mm-hmm.
somebody that's willing to sacrifice. There's a friend. This statement you made. The statement you made. You said a friend is um, thicker than a brother, right? So you made
Yes.
such. Is a statement from the
There
from the
is a
Bible.
popular saying that a friend is thicker than a brother.
Sticks. Yes, a friend sticks more than a brother. Yeah,
Yes.
it is gotten from the Bible. And also,
Mm-hmm.
the Lord Jesus Christ he said that you are my friends because I am willing to sacrifice. A friend is somebody. He said it. He said a friend is somebody that is willing to sacrifice himself, to go beyond the norm, just to see that his or her friend is in a good position. His or her friend does not pass through, a difficult situation. So anybody that is willing to go beyond the norm of friendship
Mm-hmm.
is said to be, to the best of my understanding, a good
Mm.
friend.
Can one spouse be considered as a good friend?
Can a spouse be considered as a good friend? Yes, but friendship is something that you build. You understand? Friendship is something that you build. Like my very self, as I'm talking to you, my wife is my friend because she is somebody that I can confidently share my issues with.
Mm-hmm.
And she can confidently share her issues with me. So a spouse can also be a good friend. But it has to be cultivated.
Okay.
It has to be cultivated. Something that has to be, you must, be there. How do you cultivate it? Being there for that person. It might not even be your spouse. The person that you call your friend might not be your spouse, but if you are the kind of person that is always there for that individual, then you are a friend. A spouse can also be a friend.
Perfect. That's a very good take in the sense that I I have assist in some discussions where people say that look, they will prefer to get married to their friend in the first place. And in our discussion today, when you were analyzing or presenting the qualities of what a friend should be, it should be void of sexual relationship. So does it hold true that you can fall in love with your friend then? Can one fall in love with a friend if in essence what friendship should have been or should be, because when I say should have been, it's as if like it is not what it is. Should be, it should actually be void of sexual relationship, right? In
Yes,
some of the qualities that you enumerated, that will, I think I
of
overheard
course.
that.
Of
So
course, yes.
and what do you make of the fact that some people genuinely want to get married to their friend? Or what do they mean with that saying, get married to your friend?
Okay. Well, I have heard that saying in the past. I've heard it quite a number of times. And I must tell you that that statement is not wrong at all in every sense of the word.
Okay.
Because getting married to your friend is good, even though there are people that may not be, they may not be friends with their spouse, or they may not be friends with the person. They are just in love with the person. You can be in love with the person, but the person is not a friend. You know. But it is very, very necessary, and it's very good if somebody decides to get married to his friend or to her friend. You understand? Friendship goes beyond, male. It can be a male and a male, it can be a female and a male, it can be a female and a female. So if it is between the two opposite sex and their friend, and they decided that they want to go into marriage, why not? Or do you want to marry? Will you advise somebody to marry their enemy? The opposite of
No, no,
friend
no,
is
not
enemy.
at all. Not at all. I wouldn't advise that at all. The thing is that, we're having a discussion. This is a social issue. When I said that saying or that popular saying, you confirm it as well that you've heard of it. It's not as if I'm just pulling this off from the thin air. You understand? You yourself have confirmed that you've heard of it, and I believe that it is possible for one to be married and then became along the line or in the course of life become very close friends to their wife. They can predict each other, wife or husband or their spouses. They can predict each other without even saying anything to even if you meet one outside, the person will tell you something, and when you meet the other person inside, they will likely confirm it without even meeting each other. I have
Mm.
met couples like that. So I know that after marriage, for instance, some people could become friends. But hearing that, look, the friendship in itself should have been void of maybe sexual relationship and the rest. So that's why I'm kind of curious. And to emphasize more on this point, or to expatiate or to add another layer to it, rather, is that I have heard recently over and over again people saying that men and women cannot just be friends. I don't know if you've heard about that as well, that men and women cannot just be friends.
Well, I've not heard about that, but I don't really agree with that. I don't agree with that because at least myself, I've been friends with people. I've been friends with the opposite sex in the past. Even
That's a
before I
very
got
common
married,
saying these days. And I don't,
I've been
I'm
friends
sorry
with
that
the
you've not
opposite
heard about
sex.
it, but it's very common in our society today.
Well,
People genuinely believe that men cannot be friends with women.
because they feel because it's just like when you give, they have this mentality of giving, of leaving a yam Instead of you in the presence of a goat. That's the mentality they have.
Okay.
That's how I see it. But if the statement is, going, if the statement is a popular one, I haven't heard of it. Even if I've heard of it, I don't agree with it because personally, I've been friends with ladies in the past,
Absolutely.
and there was no carnal knowledge of any of them. You understand? So I don't really agree with that statement. It does not really go down well with me. You can be friends with anybody. You can be friends with anybody, provided that you are genuine. The other person is also genuine. And there's something we need to know. You may be saying that somebody is your friend. You understand? You may be calling somebody, this one is my friend, but is the person referring to you as his friend?
Okay. You are talking of instance where the state of affair between the two is not reciprocal.
That is it. You understand? You might be willing to forego, something in order to make somebody happy, in order to make that person you think is your friend happy. But is that person willing to also reciprocate? Because this word friendship is not a one-way thing. It has to do
Mm-hmm.
with mutual
Excuse me.
responsibilities. You must be there for the person also must be there for you when the time arises, when the need arises.
You know, we started our show with the question, what makes a good friend? These are some of the things that I believe will definitely lead us back to that question again. It's not as if I know when I ask that question, it's a very loaded question because in preparing for the show, I look over the questions that I had and then everything that I mean to kind of help guide our discussion. I'm like, it is practically difficult for me to have an idea of what makes a good friend, considering all the qualities that we describe a friend to be. And I, for one, genuinely believe that some things in life you take with faith, whether being religious or not being religious. You try to be open-minded and give the possibility for nature to take its course. And considering the fact as well, you can say I'm always on social media. I'm in this cycle, and I happen to work with young people as well. I relate greatly with them, even in terms of social media as well. It is very, very popular, especially in a cycle where they call manosphere, and where they discuss about sexual market value and the rest, and when they discuss about what makes a high value man, high value woman, and what have you. These are terminology that they use, and at the end of the day, majority of our young ones genuinely believe that look, men can genuinely be friends with women. I do not agree with it as well, and I'll explain why to whoever is listening to us today, especially for a young person trying to start out afresh in life. Going about life with a shallow minded like that, in my opinion, will not take anybody far in life. And one of the reasons is this: if you have that kind of opinion as a person, it will it will close a lot of doors for that kind of a person to have that knowledge, to have that possibility of having meeting people that will help guide them, that would be of female folks, because we don't know it all. And even as a man, if you live your life looking at life only with logic, because men tends to be very logical, that's a given fact, scientifically and the rest, but without looking, developing emotional intelligence, that could be very, very important even for you. Having the possibility to use risk minimization, because generally and scientifically proven, young boys like to play some dangerous game in the sense that had adrenaline type of sport activities and the rest, and female folks usually don't do that. I'm just using this term to describe the little scientific difference that we have as men and women. Not to say that men are better than women or women are better than women, men rather. But what I'm saying, if a young man lock himself out of the world, believing that men can be friends with women, there is a lot that they are missing, because the point of view and the perspective of women are very, very vital in our social well-being as a society. So that's the reason why I, for one, personally, I do not support that kind of idea, because friendship, like you have explained, it has a lot of qualities, and it could be taken in whatever direction anybody wants to take it to. And there are some characters, figures, public figures in the world in the past that we can generally describe to be bad, but they all have friends. Imagine people that left this part of the world going down to Africa to colonize us. They were not without friends.
Of course.
The Berlin summit, for instance, was like a meeting of friends where they decide and do a kind of demarcation, or what do they call it? They divided the continent. You keep this and I keep this.
Yeah,
Th-
exactly.
that is what friends do.
Do, yeah, of course.
Having a dinner, talking together. I don't fight you, you don't fight me. You maintain your part and the rest. So, what I'm trying to say is that a very bad character, historically wise, could be charismatic enough and have a lot of friends.
Of course.
So friendship could be taken into various angles of our life. And what constitutes a good friend, in my opinion, at the end of the day, I think it has to be individual. What the person, just like you said earlier on, Mr. Obinanda, look, if you call a person a friend, does the person refer to you as a friend? I can't do that for that individual. It is the person that have to make that conclusion, in my opinion. But how
Of
will the
course, it's
person
true.
know? You used the word earlier on that some of us are very selfish in the world that we live in today. It's so true. Some people could be very selfish and pretentious. They could have a different persona in your present and something that's completely different in your
Of
absence.
course. Of course.
So it's crazy how we want to know how can we be discerning enough to know what a good friend is. Should we consider these qualities that you make mention of earlier on and kind of have a list? If we take it, it's fine. Otherwise, we cross them as being bad. Huh. That will lead me to ask then, can somebody not being a good friend today be a good friend tomorrow? Is that possible?
You asked the question. You said even before this one, you asked right now. You said, "Can is it possible?" There was a question you asked. You said,
I said, how can one discern from
"Okay,
all the mixture of what we have to know what a good friend is?
okay, yeah, that's what you asked exactly." You see, it is a known fact that people cannot pretend for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult for somebody to pretend for a very long time. So friendship is something that must be built over the years. It's not something that is spontaneous. It's something that will take time. So
Yes.
for you to discern if somebody is a friend or a foe, because the opposite of a friend is a foe,
It's an enemy, yeah.
which is an enemy. So for you to discern if somebody is a friend or not, it will take some time, and it will take your relationship with that kind of person, relationship in how does the person see you, how does the person behave around you.
Mm-hmm.
And bear in mind, people cannot pretend for a long time. For instance, how does the person speak, how does the person, is the person able to stand behind you or stay for you, be there for you even when you are not present. So these are the things, and they come over time. For instance, somebody spoke to me one day, say, he was in a place where somebody was saying a lot of things that are not so good about me,
Okay.
you know. And he came to tell me, he wanted to see my reaction.
Mm.
So he came to tell me, he said, a lot of things. And I said, okay, what was your response to them? He said, he didn't say he was just listening to them. I said, you were just listening to them. I said, yes. I said, okay. That's good. But right in my mind, I have already crossed that fellow because I'm of the opinion that if
Mm-hmm.
you are my friend and you happen to be in a place where people or somebody was saying something that was, not nice about me, being my friend that you are, and you knowing me very well, I expected you to stand and say, no, stop saying that. This young man is not the way you're describing him. I've known him for years. At least you understand what I'm saying. Okay. There was a day I was, having a conversation with some people, and they brought somebody as a friend, the issue he had with someone else. They brought it to me and they were saying it. And I stood up and I said, look, that young man you're talking about can never do such a thing. In fact, I stood my ground for this person. Even up till now, the person does not know what I'm sharing with you right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's not aware. But because I see him as a friend, behind his back, I was there to, fight for him without his knowledge. So this is what friendship is about. And this is that same person, I believe, if the if the other side of the coin was flipped, I believe he would do the same.
Great.
You understand? So these are the things you need to know in order to discern if such a person is somebody you can keep as a friend or not. Somebody that must have your back, even in your absence. If somebody does not have your back, I must be blunt at this point. If somebody cannot have your back in your absence,
Mm-hmm.
to me, it's not a friend, it's a foe. It's only pretending. And with time, such a person will come out of the shell.
Of course. You know, you are so right about this. And I came across a quote some time ago. I can't remember where I came across it. And it says that if a friend turns out to be enemy, it's a friend that has been hating for a very long time ago.
That is the
So
truth.
opportunity came and they
And he used it.
metamorphosed into what
Mm.
they have been hiding, and they manifested it openly.
Mm.
That's a very interesting thing. I like the fact, that is your opinion concerning it. It may not be the same thing for another person, but it is quite interesting
We
how
are all entitled to our opinion in issues.
absolutely, absolutely.
I've gone through a whole lot of things, and it has given me some level of wisdom to understand how to relate with people. If you look at the Bible, I'm always talking about the Bible because I have learned a lot. I've read a lot of stories from the Bible, and these stories relate to life, practical life. If you remember the case of David and Jonathan, David was there for Jonathan. They were so close, they were friends. To the point that when Saul wanted to annihilate David, Jonathan came and exposed that move that saved David's life. I don't know if you've come across that story in the Bible. So this is what
Mhm.
friendship is about. Even when Jonathan died in war, you know, and David eventually became the king of Israel at that time, there came a time he wanted to know if there is any descendant from the house of Jonathan that is still alive. He began to search and they told him, look, there's a young man, he's lame, he's still alive, he's one of the sons of Jonathan. They said, okay, bring him. They brought him. Then he said, okay, from today he'll be eating at my table. He assigned people to be working for him and be paying him, you know. So this is friendship. It is just an illustration of how friendship should be.
Yeah.
Someone that must have your back. And you too, you must be willing to have the person's back. That's just it. Anything, apart from that is, to me, it's no longer friendship. And I stand to be corrected, and that's my own opinion.
No, absolutely. It's not bad at all. You're even using Bible reference because you are a Christian. That's the example that you use.
mm,
You are entitled to your opinion, and it's a free world. And this is one thing about Pedro Apollo's podcast. We don't have a particular side we are on here.
exactly.
It's a civil discussion. So anyone is very free to bring their opinion, their belief, and their talk in a respectful manner without denigrating the other person. So for me, it is welcome, and the opinion is valid. Like, one man's meat is another man's poison. So it's not a problem at all. Please feel free to express what you are in your home. You are in your home, and
Okay.
and above all else, it is your right as a human being. They are protected by law and everything. We have the right to believe in as much as it's not against the other person. So I really want that to be clear. It's not a religious show, but that does not mean that you don't have the right to express your religious belief as a person, because it's something that is important to you as a human being. Otherwise,
Mm.
where does it stop? Do I not invite somebody because I'm not a Hindu? It
No, no,
becomes
no.
crazy if we have to start
Mm.
bossing ourselves into categorization and everything. So it's not a problem at all, believe me. And that's interesting. I really like the example that you make, and it means it shows how far some people would go
Can go
to
exactly
protect
for the other.
the interest of their friends, whether
That
they
is
are
it.
still alive or not. Just like the
Mm,
case of this Jonathan and David that you
mm,
made mention of, because, like you said, Jonathan was dead in the war, and
mm,
the friend had to take care of the son that he
mm,
left behind, which is something important. And I believe it's something that could still be very, very practical today, because we live in a world whereby almost every information we get them, we see things that are happening around. But mind you, what I've noticed is that we only hear about the bad ones, we don't hear the good ones.
mm,
Irrespective of our discussion today, there could still be friends today in 2024 that are thicker than a brother. That those that have them as friends could refer to them genuinely as a friend that is thicker than a brother, because in a time of their need, probably that person was there for them, and they can never forget that trying moment in which they find themselves as at that time. Before we go for that, there are some comments, and we have a lot of them. I would like us to take some of
okay.
them. Mm, good. Here's one. A friend is the person, from Tiasha. A friend is the person you can rely on in good and bad without judgment.
That is
Okay,
it.
which means a friend shouldn't be judgmental. The
Mm,
one who will have your back without questioning.
mm.
Okay,
See,
without
I just
questioning
made
at
mention of
all.
that.
Okay,
The one
maybe
who will
maybe she
have
will
your
help us
back.
to expand. I wish maybe she made some other question comment be on that.
Okay,
Maybe we'll
okay,
see.
we'll be
Uh,
going there.
the one who will have your back without questioning, the one you can trust and confide in. Okay, the one who keeps the word and stand by it, and is there when you ask or not.
Mm,
That's interesting. They are part of the qualities that you were saying earlier on. And
mm.
let us look at some of, because she wrote some, maybe she clarified one of this one that kind of make us ask without questioning. I think
Mm.
not questioning could be a blind spot as well.
Okay, let me explain that. Let me explain that.
Okay, before we
I made, before we continue, I made,
mm,
a statement. I said some people came to me and they were talking about somebody that happens to be my friend
yes,
in a way that is not, I don't like. I stood
all
my
that
ground.
misrepresented the friend that you know.
Yes, I stood my ground and I told them to the face, I said, look, that person is not like that. You understand?
That's
So
interesting.
I stood for him. I had his back without having to question him, without even having to question what they are telling me. I said, look, forget it. This person is not like that. He can never. You understand? I said, till today, he's not even aware that such discussion happened. He's not aware. This is somebody that I know very well.
Hmm.
You understand? It's somebody I know. He he's a straightforward person. So coming to say such a thing about him is not true. That is what friendship is about. So I understand what Tasha is
Tiasha is
saying
saying
here.
here.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
okay,
understand what
okay.
she said. She said the
Maybe
one who have your
I
back
misunderstood it, but maybe I
without
misunderstood
questioning.
it. It could she could be speaking in that context
Mm,
because not questioning, in my opinion, could be a blind spot too.
mm,
If one could just, and what if you are going wrong? Because in some of the qualities that you analyze earlier on or that you presented earlier on, a friend should is the one that is honest with you as well. I don't remember there was a word that you used that
mm,
signifies to me somebody that can give you a feedback, a
mm.
honest one.
Okay.
Okay, let
Pedro,
let us.
we have been
Yes?
friends for 12 years.
Okay, good.
I know
Let's.
you very well.
Ah,
There are things I know about you. I know you very well. So, for
perfect.
instance, when somebody comes to me and begins to say something denigrating about you, I, as your friend, should stand my ground if I say, no, it's not like that. I've known him for years. And mind
Absolutely.
you, we did not just become friends just yesterday. 12 years have been put into it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So I should
Absolutely.
be the kind of person that should have your back at all times without having to
You,
come back
you,
and then come and question you and say, how did you do this? Because I know what you can do.
Absolutely.
You understand
And
what I'm saying? So
accept to
that's
be
why I
disappointed
agree.
as well,
You
even
understand?
if the person happens to disappoint you, accept it as well. But
That is
in
it.
the meantime, for the fact that you know that person and your experience has been different and stellar in the nature, you should be able to defend your friends.
Exactly.
Otherwise,
So
what's the essence of the friendship?
that is it.
So
That's what we're
no,
talking about. So I understand
I
what
quite agree.
Tasha is saying here. I understand what she's saying. Without
Yeah,
question, I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
have to come back and question how did you do. No, because I know what you can do. I know
Yes,
what people, like I said before,
absolutely.
people are very
That's so true.
selfish. People have become so
Yes,
selfish these days. So
of
they just
course,
want
of course.
to misunderstand people. You
Yes.
understand? So we need to
We
stand
live in
our
a world
ground
where
to defend the people that we trust, people that we call our
absolutely.
friends.
That's true. That's so true. Let's continue with the with Tiasha comments here. When it comes to
Okay.
spouse and
Mm,
friendship, I personally think it is the security. Most
mm,
likely your spouse will not back up as easily as a friend can. Okay. Of course, there is relationship here. Sometimes
mm,
no matter how strong the friendship is, there are people who will not stand every challenge you might put on them. Okay.
mm,
True, sad, though sadly, now, not saying every spouse will, but more likely the experience with the person you share the household with, so to speak, will be more positive. Okay. And here she's referring to the idea of spouse. When I asked if a spouse could be a friend, we're talking about people getting married to friends or whatsoever.
mm,
Also, there are partners that started their journey of friendship, okay, and they claim to have more stable relationship. But generally, friendship or relationship is built through years and time. That's
mm.
true. And you
It's
made reference
correct.
to this earlier on in our discussion.
Yeah.
This is fascinating. Before you can call someone a friend, then I think even based on what you said and what Tiasha wrote in the comment, years has to be put in. It's
Of
like being
course.
tested by fire, like as gold is
Exactly.
tested with fire.
Yes, yes, yes. You
Whoever
don't want to have
says
people
up,
around you that will jeopardize your life, do you?
yeah,
You understand?
no, no,
That
no,
is it.
no. This is interesting. This is interesting. So, um, you know, it's so fascinating that you hear people, even so-called celebrities, and the rest, they will say, "Ah, my friend," and everything. Like, really? This this person just came to limelight. You don't know this person for years.
Mm.
How is this person your friends?
Your friend, yeah.
So that makes me to believe maybe there are different type of friendship that we could have. Anyway,
There's only one friend. Maybe they don't understand the meaning of
The meaning
friendship.
of what friendship is.
Exactly.
Okay. Tiasha asked here, wrote here again, whoever says opposite gender says cannot be friend has a problem within himself.
That
He's
is it.
he is then of no trust and would sexualize the other sex. Sometimes friendship consisting of different sex can help a lot, as funny
Oh,
as this might sound to some. It also helps with understanding the difference, which can help later on in life or one's relationship for that matter. I completely agree with this. That this is so true. You know, I
of
was even
course.
saying earlier on because if you tend to live your life within your cycle alone, it could be man, it could be woman.
Mm,
If all you believe as a man is that women are bad, and all you believe as a woman is that men are bad, that person, in my opinion, will end up having so much problem in their relationship if they ever got into one with the opposite sex. And I don't believe that a person that genuinely believes that the opposite sex is bad will even be able to maintain a good relationship, even with the same sex.
exactly.
A negative person is a negative person, irrespective of their sex.
Yeah. Anybody that says you cannot make friends with the opposite sex, the person's mentality is wrong. It's wrong
It's
because
completely wrong.
even
Completely
our
wrong.
Lord, even Jesus Christ had female friends,
Yes,
female disciples, and those women they
absolutely.
did wonder. In fact, do you know when he rose from the dead, it was a woman that saw him first.
Yeah.
So saying that you cannot make friends with the opposite. If you know what, as a man, the opposite sex can do for you, just being a friend, as a friend, without any
Mhm.
string attached. If you know what they can do for you, you'll be amazed.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Women have
Of
power.
course.
If you know what they can do for you as a friend, you'll be
Hmm.
amazed. I Years ago, let me share this story. Years ago, I had an issue, document issue. Not that my document was about to expire. In fact, it was at the verge of expiry, but there was no money to put it for renewal. I think that was in 2013, years back.
Okay. Hmm.
So there was no money to put it up for renewal. I didn't have because I was not working as at that time. So there was no money that was coming. I was just living, from hand to mouth and all that. It
Mm.
was a female friend that saw me in church one day because I'm a free spirited kind of person, and whenever I'm around people, I'm just like the light of the party. I'm open minded. You know, I'm always free with people. So I was
Yes.
with them in church, and she noticed a female friend. She noticed
Hmm.
my countenance, and she saw that this young man is not the way he usually is. Whenever he's around, he's always the light of the party. Why is he down? So after the service that day, she called me and said, "What's wrong? What's the problem?" I said, "Nothing. There was no problem." She said, "No, I know you very well. This is not your composition. I know you very well. Whenever you're around, you are just like the
Hmm.
light of the party. What's the problem?" Then I opened up. I said, look at what I'm going through right now." I said, and you have not told me." The following day, she gave me money to put my documents for renewal. And she was traveling the following day. She said, "Okay, I will drop the money for you and I'll travel. I'll give it to somebody. Just go and collect it from so person." Then she traveled.
Just like that.
Just like that. So somebody that is saying that a man cannot be friends with a woman, I don't understand. She's a woman. I'm a man. We are friends. But she came to my rescue at that point. So if you know what the opposite sex can do for you, if you know what women can do for you, just being a friend because you are their friend. Ah, and that was how my document was secured at that point, even up
Good.
to today.
You
Yeah.
know, in
So,
psychology, they call it projection. So people
mm,
project their negativity into other people. And
mm,
just like Tiasha said, because they cannot hold a relationship with the opposite sex without sexualizing them, they genuinely
mm,
think that a man can necessarily not be a friend to a woman or vice versa.
mm,
This is not to negate the fact that There are some people could actually be waiting in an angle to see how things will go wrong in the life of either person A or person B so that they can take advantage because there are still disgruntled people in the world. We are not talking, but we are being positive here. We are looking at what is generally acceptable. Whenever people make extreme case example like that, in my opinion,
mm,
they are trying to make the exception the rule. The
mm,
exception cannot be the rule when discussing things of this nature.
mm.
If a man and a woman can be friends without anything attached to it, that is how it is. It is generally so. Otherwise, if one hold that opinion, they cannot even be able to work with a female colleague
Of course, of course.
because the question is, if one hold that kind of opinion, where does it end? Because there is always the risk of people not knowing when to stop.
It will
So
definitely end in disaster for that person.
good,
Yeah, it will definitely end in disaster because the mindset is wrong. So
completely wrong.
there's every action, there's every reaction for any action. Every action comes with a reaction. If you
So
hit a
true.
ball, if you hit a ball against the wall, it will come to bounce back to you.
That's
If you extend the rubber band beyond its limit, it will break into two. So
absolutely.
every action has has a corresponding reaction that is coming with it. So when people like that have such mentality, at the end of the day, they are the ones that will see it hot. There are women that are holding positions of power that, just like I explained before, if you know what a woman can do
Yes,
simply because she's your friend, if you know, and their emotion, women are they're emotional beings. If they are your friend or you have a female friend, genuine friend, and there's an issue, the way she will go for you in that issue, you will think as if she's a family member. She will want,
absolutely.
I'm talking from experience, I know what I've seen.
No, no, no.
So
There's no doubt about that at all.
anyone that has such a mindset is, for me, the mindset is very, very wrong.
There
Very
is
wrong.
no doubt about that at all. You know, I said it earlier on. If one make the mistake believing genuinely in their heart
Mm,
that look, they cannot just be friends with a female colleague or a female being a male is a completely wrong approach to life. And they don't
mm,
know what they are missing. A whole lot is what they are missing. It
mm,
goes both ways. In this case, we are using example of men. Women too hold the same position.
mm.
You know, I was saying earlier on, there are people that just believe in their mind the opposite gender is a problem. You understand? And those
Yes.
people, believe me, in my opinion, they are never able to have a good relationship, even among the same sex that they are. So, of course, we are not children. We've seen some things in life. It is generally so in most cases.
Mm,
So some people, in real sense, they need therapy even before they could come out to speak on issues in on
mm,
platform or whatsoever. Some of them need a little bit of time alone to be taught some basic things in life. I genuinely believe this, and I'm not even going to say that I stand being corrected. To be very honest, it's not arrogance.
mm, mm.
I have seen a lot of things, and I genuinely believe that some people deserve some sessions of therapy before they can
I
come
agree
out in
with you.
public to open their mouth to speak.
I agree with you.
Tiasha wrote this, not
Okay.
questioning what Obina said. A friend will have your back, right or
Mm,
wrong. Okay.
this is it.
It's a place of friend to back you up. The rest is discussed intimately. Did I explain better? I think that this was what you I think I understood. And yeah, she's asking when you say that you fought for your friend without the person knowing and
Mm,
without you even considering that look, maybe the friend might have done that thing or not, but you stood your ground because you knew that person
mm.
over a long period of time. you did what you did, defending the person in good faith.
mm.
So whatever has to be discussed, it stays between you and that person when you meet the person. If there is any need to have a
If there's any
discussion
need,
whatsoever, yeah.
exactly, exactly,
So I think
exactly.
you explain better, Tiasha. That was how it is, and I do believe that is what friendship should be. I genuinely
Of
believe
course.
that as well. I really, really do. And still talking on what makes a good friend, and the the follow up. One thing that I will add to it is this: some people don't know how to make friends. They don't know how to make friends in the sense that there is a general rule of having friends. If you want to have friends, be one. It sounds
Exactly.
simple. It sounds
Mm,
simple. It sounds so crazy and so binary, but it's a thing that holds true in every context, in every society of the world. You want to have friends, be one.
of course.
Mr. Obina, excuse me, I have allergies for whoever is listening. This
Okay,
period
sorry.
is the crazy moment for me in the year,
Yeah,
and
I understand.
but I don't have to stay at home. I still have to be here with us tonight. So it's important
Of
for me
course.
that we have this discussion and we keep to our date and our schedule.
Mm,
What I'm saying is that that simple rule of being able to make friends hold true in every society around the world. You and I both live in Italy, Mr. Obina.
yeah.
If it is my desire to have what I would describe, quote and unquote, Italian friend, I can't get it in my own house. I have to be out there. I have to be
Mm,
positive, approach people, be ready, maybe go and take a cafe, meet them in the restaurants, in the gym, and everything. Strike a conversation. It is the same thing anywhere in the world. If I go to India, I can't just stay in my hotel and hope to have a friend. Even you can get a friend to, but it has to be initiated.
of
It
course.
it doesn't come to you sitting down and all to yourself wherever the person may be. So though we are talking about what makes a good friend, which in itself we mean that the person might have had a friend already, but I recognize the fact that there are a lot of people around the world that do not have friendship. Could it be out of fear, or they genuinely do not know how to make friendship? What could be the reason for this phenomenon?
Okay, well, thank you for the question. I will say that, there are people have different personalities. I'll answer this question in two forms. The first one is people have different personalities. There are people that are melancholic, there are people that are sanguine, and the rest of them. So
Mm,
people that are melancholic, I believe there are people that don't really socialize that much. There are people that are introverts, there are people that are extroverts, there are people that are friendly. They are just
mm,
like the light of the party. Anywhere they go, people like them, they like people. Before you know it, they are my friends. Even if they have seen you, they are seeing you for the first time, they just refer to you. They want to introduce you to other person. This one is my friend. They just met you the first time. You understand? So
mhm.
there are people that are like that. And there are people that are not forgoing in that area. They are just reserved. So for those people that are reserved, it is normal if they don't have friends. But on the other hand, there are people that have had friends in the past, but due to one situation or the other, those friends betrayed them. You understand? And because of that, they went through a whole lot of issues and they have decided to remain reserved as long as friendship is concerned. And I must tell you, I belong to the second class that I've just mentioned now
Okay.
because in the past, I am a friendly time. Like I told you, I'm just like the light of the party. Whatever I get, I want to socialize. I just want to stay with people. I just want to know people. I just want to have friends. But along the line, as things began to unfold and things began to get, tough,
Mm-hmm.
that most of those people that I thought are friends, they were not there. They left. You understand? When it was time for them to, to stand their ground and say, "Oh, this is our friend, let's have your back," they were nowhere to be found. So by the time I came out of those difficult situations, I decided to be reserved when it comes to friendship. So there are people that are like that. They just want to be reserved. For me, I have a lot of brothers, I have a lot of sisters, I have a lot of, elderly people around me, but my friends are very minimal, very minimal. You understand? Why? Because of the experiences I've had in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people that are like that. Because of experiences they've had in the past with friends, they decided to just say, "Oh, let me be reserved as long as friendship is concerned." Anybody I consider my friend today, time has been invested. Years have been invested. And I know that as I say that person is my friend, the person will also say, even behind my back, that I am his or her friend. You understand? So these are the factors. There are people that are melancholic. They are they are not the social type. They don't go out. They just want to be on their own. It might be an issue for them when it comes to having friends. But there are people that, as a lot of past experiences, they decided on their own to cut down on the level of friends that they keep. So this is my take on that question.
That's a very good one. I really appreciate the take, and it's good. It's good in the sense that look, uh, people have reasons, just like rightly said, why they don't want to have friends anymore, and I believe at times in our life these things come with age, growing up as well, because your need at a particular stage in your life, your needs are different from what you are no longer Mr. Obina that you were 10 years ago.
Exactly.
As we begin to imp- grow in our career, in our family life, both career wise or personal life, our needs change as well. And
Mm,
unfortunately, it means even losing some friends as well. Not
of
necessarily,
course.
will I even say losing them, or rather no longer in the same place like we used to be.
Mm,
Because there is this general saying that the first five people around you, you are like the first five people in your friend cycle. People
yes,
that you
exactly.
generally call your friends and the rest, the person is likely going to think or do things or approach things like them. So people are very selective of what they call their friend, and you are not wrong at all. Even if
Mm,
your need, as you have noticed, has changed from what it was 10 years ago to what it is today, it is only right that it is like that, because as you begin to advance in life, things change, which include even your cycle of friends. Does this mean that you hate them? I don't think so.
no, 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 I don't. I don't. It's just that, just like you rightly said, and I will quote this saying, the popular saying among, I've heard it several times, and I believe you've heard it. Said 10 children cannot play for 10 years.
Not at
So
all.
I believe
Not
age,
possible.
like you rightly put, age at a point in time, what you want 10 years ago might not be what you want now.
Not at all.
And because your preferences have changed, it may also change the kind of people you keep around you.
Yes.
A wise man once said that if you have five stupid people around you, you did not count well. So these are the things. He said if you have five people around you, you did not count well, it's six. You are the sixth person. You're the
Of course.
stupid person, you know. So
Absolutely.
when these things are when people begin to advance in age and in life and in mental, because the more you're growing, the more your mental capacity is being
Built
developed.
by your
So
experience as well.
exactly. So there are things you want to keep around you because you need one of the needs of a man is peace of mind. You wouldn't want anything that will truncate that your peace of mind because you need it you need it to advance in life. You need your peace of mind to advance in life. You want to harm any man, just take away his peace of mind. You have harmed him.
Yes. Yes.
You
That's
understand?
so true.
So you need your peace of mind. So because you need peace of mind, you wouldn't want to keep people that may, in one way or the other, truncate that peace of mind. You wouldn't want to keep them around you.
It
So
is not necessary.
that will facilitate and ensure that friends begin to reduce by the number. You know.
And
So
there is a
I
new
believe
name for it today, Obina. They call it mental health, protecting our mental health, not just peace of mind anymore. So, well,
this mental
you
health
know,
issue is becoming
uh,
something else, honestly. Even in our country
we
where we
have
come
to
from,
protect our
it's
mental
now an
health.
issue.
You have to protect
My
our mental
God.
health. It is being used in any contest, any discussion today. Mental health. And it's so crazy. But
Oh
however, you
God.
are right. As you begin to advance in life, you must protect your mental health. Especially on
Mm,
this note, I agree with you and I agree with anybody else that want to protect their mental health. Does it mean
mm.
that we hate them? No.
No, no, no.
Tiasha post yesterday on Facebook that I really like. I don't know
Mm,
who said it because I don't remember if I saw the name of the person that wrote it, but it said that look, your life, you are the CEO of your life. You decide
mm.
to employ who you want to employ, hire who you want to hire, or fire who you want
Fire
to
who you want
fire.
to fire. Yes,
And
yes, of course.
there should be no apologies to it
Mm,
when
mm,
it comes to protecting our well-being. Does it
mm,
mean that we are selfish? Yes, we are selfish. Oftentimes we say that everybody is selfish in the world today. That everybody in
mm.
real sense include us. Truth,
Exactly, exactly.
truth be
Yeah,
told.
because you must to protect your mental health, just like you said. You
Yeah,
must be
it, it,
selfish to an
it has
extent.
to be. It has
Of
to
course.
be. It has to be. But this itself open up a kind of, in my opinion, a kind of Pandora box in the sense that, or maybe not Pandora box in the sense that it makes us kind of hypocritical in nature. Why am I saying this? Referring back to the qualities of what a friend should be.
Mm.
In, why do we as people oftentimes base our relationship on others based on what they can do for us? I'll make a very
Basing,
simple example. I'm not even talking about things that as little as maybe giving me gift or not giving me gift. Like
mm,
I was supposed to defend you on your behalf and I didn't do
mm,
it. Which might
mm.
seem innocent or that way maybe I just don't want to be involved. I didn't have the time whatsoever. But excuse me, if you are my friend, you couldn't even just do that.
You see, Jesus asked a question at the time when
Good.
he was about to be arrested and then handed over to Pilate and then going through the crucifixion and all that. He asked a question when he went with his disciples to pray.
Hmm.
He left them somewhere. He went ahead. He gave them space and he went to pray. His prayer was because he was the passion he was about to go through was heavy on him. So he prayed. He said, God, if it's possible, remove this cup from me because he began to see what he was about to go through. So by
Yes.
the time he finished praying, he came back to his friends. He said, and he saw that they were asleep, all of them. He said, so if you cannot even wait with me for just 1 hour. What does
And
that
these are
mean?
people. These are people that ate, walked
He
around
fed them
Jerusalem and everything with him.
with him. Yeah, so he said, just 1 hour, you people are supposed to pray with me. You could not even pray with me. And I've been here for you people. So what was he saying? You are my friend. You cannot even have my brother. Why are you my friend? No, we have to, put things in perspective. Just like I told you, we have been friends for a while. Years
Yeah.
have been invested. And if I happen to be your friend and I cannot have your back, then why am I your friend? So
Who's
these
in
are the
need?
things. We are not being selfish here. So we are not being hypocritical here. But we must have people around us that have our best interest at heart to protect our mental health. You understand? You can't keep a Judas in your circle. You can't keep what's this prophet's name that they said he should go to Nineveh and he said no. You can't keep
Jonah.
such a fellow Jonah. You can't keep Jonah in your boat. The boat will capsize.
In case you are listening and think that I don't know the Bible, I've read the Bible,
No,
eh?
you are doing well. You are doing well. You are doing well. You are doing well. It's good to have, wide experience, wide knowledge. I will tell
Of
anybody that
course.
that is an intellectual, go for knowledge, because when you have knowledge, you are in command. With knowledge, you are in command. You understand?
I did
So
well in philosophy in school as well, so I'm
okay,
very
okay,
this
you're
stoic
very
idea and
knowledgeable.
everything.
Exactly.
So
So that is it. So when you have Jonah in your boat, the boat can capsize. There is a possibility of, that boat capsizing. It's not being hypocritical. You just have to. There comes a time in one's life where you must sit down and ask yourself questions. There was a
perfect.
time I looked at my phone, saw numbers that I have not called in years, and I asked myself, what actually is the relationship between me and this person that the number is in my phone? I asked myself that question and I saw that, look, there is no reason why this person's number should be on this phone. I deleted the number. I'm not being selfish, I'm not being hypocrite, but for my mental health. You understand? So you must have people around you that
Mental
should.
health don't suffer.
You understand? You must have people around you that should have your back. If they can't have you, why are they around you?
Yes.
You understand? Why are they around you? The thing the people don't understand is that it is what you allow that will continue.
Yes.
It is what you allow that will continue. That is why the rich most times, I don't blame them. They don't want to have some kind of people around them. They want people that have the same social status with them to be around them to protect their interests
Interest or mental health. Let's
or mental health as well. You understand? So it's not being selfish. It's not really being hypocritical. Just like you said, Tasha Rhodes, you are the
Mm,
CEO of your life. You can hire
of course.
anybody. You can fire anybody. You will
Fire
not hire
anybody.
somebody, even in the place of work. If a colleague is, if a worker, if a colleague is not doing disbursing his duties very well, they query him. And if he
Absolutely.
continues,
That's so
they
true. They
offer
don't
him
play.
yes, they
They
offer
don't
him a
play.
sack letter for their
They
mental
don't
health.
play.
They didn't come there to train mad people.
The
Their business,
branding and everything about the company is in line if the person is not doing
yes,
what they're supposed to
you
do.
understand exactly. So this is it. That's
So
how it
that's it.
is.
That's nice. I mean, I have, I learned a lot today talking. I have never thought of it this way. I use the word couldn't add be when I said if that wouldn't be described as being hypocritical because at the same time you're supposed to be the one that is giving the bigger brother here and everything. So to see figuratively just to use that word, but at the same time it seems to me that look it is based on need. But looking at the explanation and the experiences that we've used in discussing tonight, it is paramount. I mean, before I could call you a friend, you should be somebody that will be able to defend me even when I'm not there. I'm not even asking when I'm there, I can do that myself. When
Mhm.
I'm not there, you should be able to defend me as a friend. And that's an important thing. And if you are protecting yourself from anything negative, both from friends or whatsoever, it is not it is not being selfish. You are just protecting yourself from you are protecting your mental health without going into
That
unnecessary stress.
that's just the
So
truth.
Some friendship definitely will not be with us all the way. That is a
mm,
given. And at the same time, I genuinely believe that at times in our life, we could be in different places. Even though we can see each other physically, our mind, our thinking, the direction of our life could be leading to different direction. And it could practically not be possible for the friendship to be how it used to be even as
mm,
recent as 2 years ago. It is possible that things change in our life, in our career, in our private life. We are no longer how we used to be. But however, there is still that possibility for anyone. The door is open, just like the example you use. If you have not communicated for the past 3 years, I don't know what you should do in that situation. I think the question falls, the unknown is the burden of proof, or will I even say burden of proof in this case? I think it depends on the person to make even a reflection of themselves, because I understand protecting ourselves, but if you have a friend that you do not call, is that really your friend? That's that is what we need to ask ourselves. Before I move on, let me give a shout out to Talking with the Stars, Isi Negbenebo.
okay.
I see you in the comment. My special greetings to you. A very good evening to you as well. I really appreciate your comment and coming by. And special thanks to Tiasha for holding it down with us tonight. I think Tiasha is really bringing in the heat. I really appreciate it, and a big thanks to you. And
Mm,
before we go, Mr. Obina, let us read some of the comments that Tiasha
okay.
post as well
Okay.
immediately. I really appreciate Tiasha. The comment has been really helpful to us in this
Mm,
discussion tonight. This is one of the reasons why I do not surround myself with a lot of friends, people. Sometimes having one or two right ones is what it is all about.
mm,
Real friends are real, and I wouldn't want to ruin what I have by aiming for more that potentially lead me into disaster. Okay.
mm, mm,
I think, okay, having even a very few cycle is enough as friendship, as far as friendship is concerned. That is what I
mm,
believe the comment referred to here. Then the
mm,
second one, yes, I agree. And only those real friends can advance with you, okay, throughout the life changes and development. Those are friends. The rest are seasonal. Okay.
mm,
When I was making reference to our stages in life changes too. So
mm,
that's true. That is true. You know, maybe this could have been your experience too, Obina.
mm.
Things may change. Some friends, however, remain.
Of course. Of course. Things may
That's
change, but some
interesting.
friends remain.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Friendship,
For
as any
instance, let's look.
relationship, cannot be
Okay.
one-sided. If you cannot be on my side or by my side, then you are by my you are in my way.
She's being real, She's being real. She's being real.
that's
These
that's
are
so
truths,
crazy.
even though they are
Okay.
bitter, but they are truths.
Yes.
Mm.
If you cannot be by my side, in my side, you are in my way. So
You are
it
blocking my
cannot be
view.
it cannot be one-sided. Oh my
Mm.
God. That's this is so true. We are laughing, but this is real life.
It's the bitter truth.
It's the real
Most
life.
times it must be said.
Quite
Most times
unbelievable.
these bitter truths must be said. You know, these
So
bitter truths
so what
must
do
be
you
said.
do, Mr. Obinan? How can we there is something that I was kind of wondering about as well while planning for this show that I would like to hear your perspective really. If
Mm,
you since friendship could be like this, it could be a kind of our go-to area or somebody that really care about us, because here we've been talking about what we can do in terms that are not monetary. It's just you defending your friend. These are what I would believe moral values, something that is not physical.
mm,
I'm asking this next question of mine that has to do with something that could be tangible that you can see. If you happen to have a friend that fall off economically, as a friend, how do you intervene in that kind of situation? Do you do something or you don't do anything? I mean, let's assume there is someone, because one, first of all, friends, if they share everything with us, they should be able to share even their economic misfortune with their friends. What should be our role in that kind of situation? Because it appears to me that as a friend, we have some duties.
Of course, you're right. We have some duties for a friend that fell financially or economically, maybe as a result of one thing or the other. A true friend should be that person that will also give assistance. But most times, people are asking, people usually ask, what do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? Most times, money is not all that matters that should be brought to the table. Because if that friend can, financially come into the life of the other friend and then bring him up financially, why not? But if the friend does not have, you understand, that
Mm,
much to assist the other friend that has fallen financially or economically, there are other ways you could, you know, bring in moral support. You understand? You just don't have to leave your friend. If that person is truly your friend, you just don't have to leave him, forget about it because he has fallen economically. No, you must be there. Okay, now look at it. There was a time let me give this. There was a time I was homeless, and at that point in time, I was looking for a house, but it was not forthcoming. As at that time, it was difficult to get a place to stay. So I went to a friend, a supposed friend, and I was thinking he was going to assist, but he did not. He said he gave me his own excuse, which I understand. I have nothing against that. But there's another friend I just told the situation. His house is very far from me. You understand? He
mm,
wanted me to come to his place, but it was not easy for me because his house is very far. By the time I go there, how do I get to work? It was going to be an issue. So he wanted
yeah.
me to stay with him as at that time until I get a place. But it was not possible for me. But do you know that he did not stop there? He didn't stop there. He didn't say,
Mm,
okay, I've rendered what I can do for him. He said, no, let
yes.
me leave him. He continued to call every day. He called me on daily basis to know how far. I'm searching for a house for you. I've spoken to somebody. Can we go and see the person? When are you going to be chanced so that we can go and see the person? Okay, meet me so. Every day he made sure we spoke until I was able to get a place. You understand? Now he did not give me money to look for a house.
Hmm.
But being there for me every day, that moral support was all that I even needed at that point in time. So most times it's not about money. It's not about lifting the person financially or economically. You can come in because you might not have that much. Everybody have one
Absolutely.
thing or the other that they are going through.
Hmm.
You understand? And moreover, we live here in Europe. We know how it is. There's one bill or the
This,
other
this
to
is
pay.
this is even in general. It's not about um. Of course, as migrants, it is
Yeah,
very easy
exactly.
for us to maybe bring it down home and personalize it. We're just speaking generally here. It could be even a European, or just as friends, just as
Exactly.
friends.
So you may not such a friend may not comment financially or economically, but there are other things you can do. You can offer moral
Absolutely.
support. You can be there. You can go through that pain with the person every day. You can be hearing from talking to the person. Making sure that the
No.
person does not feel alone at that point
Yes.
until he eventually or she eventually comes out of that phase of life.
These things that you just said are things that are very, very important. And I think it is what makes friendship even more valuable That's the reason why people crave for friendship. People,
mm,
we go out as humans seeking for friendship with others. It is human and as it is natural as it could be. So that moral support that you just explained to me is one of the most fundamental thing. I mean, it's the basis upon which friendship are measured. It's not
mm,
just about money. And I hope that those that are listening to us tonight and those that will come across the video, they at least get this value out of our discussion. It is not all about money in the sense that there are other things that a friend can do for you that not only will it help you make money at the end of the day, but that will help sustain you even in that
mm.
difficult time. Because
Exactly.
one of the thing with which our life, success in life is measured is success and well-being. In this case,
Mm,
I'm not talking of success in terms of economic terms. As a
mm,
human being, living a satisfactory life is
mm,
having good friendship, having good friendship, good health, and everything. One, living with a purpose in life.
mm,
So, friendship, especially for those of us that are advanced in age, is very, very important. You know, you said earlier on, you cultivate friendship, you don't pick it. Friendship is like
mm.
relationship. You don't pick it, you don't pick one, you build one.
You build it, yes.
Good. So, if you live and over the years have cultivated friendship without asking or hoping in mind what that friendship should provide for you economically whatsoever, it you will find it more fulfilling at the end of the day, because when the chips are down, when you know that you really have friends, it is the ones that will at least call you even for 50 seconds, not even a minute, and say
Mm,
hello and talk to you and ask you, how do you do? That is very, very, very important. Very, very, very important, because at the end of the day, money do comes and go. I am not in any shape or form underestimating the importance of money in
mm.
our life. However, having good friendship, it is vital, excuse me, for our well-being as humans. So I appreciate the way you explain it. You explain the aspect of moral support, and I share the idea as well. And I believe it's something that we should encourage more of it in our society. Because whether you and I agree, there are people, especially those that have come up in age, that no longer have friends. We are not here to judge them. There's no how we are going to know what transpired in the past in their life and everything. But I recognize the fact too. I live not only as a foreigner in the country that I live, and am I even still qualified to call myself as a foreigner?
No, you're
I
an
don't know
Italian
any.
now.
I don't know anymore, because I'm a
You're
citizen of
Italian.
the
You're
country,
Italian.
a naturalized citizen as well of the country that I live. So,
Yeah.
just for discussion's sake, and having friendship is very, very important. Having friendship is very, very important. There was a common saying in my community then, as a young migrant and everything. You know, we as Africans, we could, or as Nigerians, I want to be very particular in this aspect, we could commonize ourselves, we could talk down on ourselves, criticize, call ourselves name and everything. But there was one thing that I was made to know, that look, when the chips are down in a foreign land, as a foreigner that you live, the only ones that will still manage to give you a sofa to lie on average, are your fellow Nigerians.
Of course.
On average, there
Mm,
could be an exceptional cases of, and especially being a man, and being specific here, especially being a man, when the
mm,
chips are down, on average, the only person that will give you a couch to sleep, most likely is a Nigerian, a fellow
Yes.
Nigerian. Despite the fact that we could come out on social media and talk shit on ourselves and everything.
Mm,
So those things hold true for me, because when chips were really down in my life here in Italy as well, I have a lot of stories, both in Cyprus and everything. It was my fellow African brothers, who is listening to us tonight may not, or maybe have not gone that far in their immigration experience, living in a foreign country whereby they don't even know where their next meal will come from.
mm,
It could be very scary at times. It could be very scary at times. Look, having friendship is important. And I will encourage, I mean, everybody, I'm not even saying this as a migrant or non migrant, but being able to cultivate friendship, no matter how hard it is, people that you can trust that will be able to support you morally, it is very, very important. And mind you, like Obina explained, these things take years. It don't come overnight.
mm.
Before you could say a person is your friend. Look, Tiasha into the comment section. I know Tiasha, if I'm not mistaken, if not at all, since 2010, we'll be friends.
That's a whooping 14 years.
Good. So this is life.
Time has been invested.
Of course. I appreciate her value. I appreciate her opinions and everything. And we continue to hold each other. We check each other. I told you the other time that she's a liquid metal. She takes no nonsense. But I understand her. I know that just like I can call you for things and I will expect a honest opinion, I can call her. I know that she's not going to mince her words.
Mm,
She may even ask me, "Do you really want me to tell you what I think?
mhm.
Bring it on." You know, you need people like that. It is very, very important in our life. So whoever is out there maybe thinking that because friends have done me this, friends have done me that, I know, I understand, but it is vital that look, you have friendship, because for you to go through life, the burden of life, in my opinion, it's not easy to negotiate alone as an individual.
Of course, of course.
It is
Yeah,
it is very, very, for you to go on this journey, you need somebody. Trust somebody that you can trust, somebody that will respect their name. Because one thing I have noticed as well, especially even doing this podcast, is that I discovered that there are so many people in the world that do not have the ability, or rather that are negligent enough to even respect their name. I I discovered some this experience has taught me some things that look like somebody telling you this, and at the end of the day, it becomes
something
something
else.
else completely. You understand? So
Mm,
I I am that type of a person that I am not perfect in any shape or form. I have never been. But there is one thing that I I happen to respect. If I tell you, and this is something that I notice about you too, Obin, and look, you've even told me over and over again. Before you could even make a promise to anyone, you know for a father, look, you are standing on that word,
mm.
because you don't want to risk giving an impression to anyone that look, I will be there for you, and that might stop the person going out there to look for other solutions,
Solutions,
and you not
yes.
coming through.
It's true.
So, but that is you. A lot of people do not respect their name.
Mm,
And to me, your first personal branding starts with you.
of course.
So this is very, very important. And I'm sorry to say it, but it is like you were saying earlier, it is bitter truth. But some people do not have that respect enough for themselves. But can you imagine if they cannot even respect themselves, will they respect their fellow human being
Yeah, that's the truth. It has to start with you. Charity begins at home. Must
at
start with
home?
you first.
So friendship is very, very important. The burden of life is very difficult to negotiate alone. I really mean this not only due to my experience in life. It is important that you have a friend. It is important that you share your problem with your friend when possible. And for the sake of our discussion today, we are talking of good friend here, not just
Mm,
an acquaintance, somebody that you don't know, somebody that you have invested time with, somebody that will not be judgmental, that will recognize the fact that you made a mistake, but over time you'll be able to correct this mistake. Not doing it completely for them, because there is also aspect of helping a friend. There are some people, when you help them, the help becomes a dependence at the end of the day. So
yeah, of course.
even if this person is a very good friend that is so close to you, that help, if the economic help is going to come in, it has to be negotiated and worked on concretely.
Mm,
So I am not excluding the fact that as a friend you can't help your friend economically. You said it earlier on, Obina, that look, we are going through a lot of things. Some friends might even be willing to help economically, but they don't have it.
mm-hmm,
Good. But even if we're in a situation to help economically, money do not grow on trees.
mm,
There are just three rules that I learned recently from Grant Cardone, an American real estate mogul that I follow from a distance. As a, I'm a huge fan of his. He said, when it comes to money, you have to know how to get it, keep it, and multiply it.
of course. He's right.
One can make a mistake in business and everything, but having the ability to have these things, the 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 mental capability to be able to manage these three things will make a difference. So if I could help a friend that has fallen off economically, after all said and done, I will also want to know how well that economic help is going to be, because I can't keep packing the shit of a friend over and over again.
Mm.
I don't know what your take on this.
Well, that's true. It's very, very correct. In fact, recently I saw a movie that just highlighted what you have said right now.
Okay.
Two friends, one they served under the same boss, this AIS, Igbo
Mm.
Apprenticeship Scheme, and the boss settled the two of them. One became hard work. One was very hardworking. The other one was, into a lot of women and into a lot of businesses that were not good. So one of them, the one that was successful, did well in business. The other one was not successful, kept on going into debt, and he came to this one that was successful and said, "Please, I'm owing over 300 million. How can you help me?" And he said, "Okay, I'm going to help you. I'll be paying. I don't have all the money, but I'll be paying little by little." So every month he was paying the debtors of the other guy, the creditors of the other friend. He was paying them 5 million every month. Then this friend that was unsuccessful began to see it as his right.
Really?
You know, yes, he began to take it for granted. Every month, the other guy will pay 5 million for the other guy's debt, and he began to see it as his right. He became more wayward. He became, and all of a sudden, the other man said, "No, I will not take it anymore." He called those creditors and said, "Look, I'm done. I'm no longer paying because this young man is not improving. He keep running into debt. He keep, all those things." So it has really happened like that. I saw the movie. There are people that are like that. Honestly, what I do is when it comes to money, when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to money, I I try my best not to. I don't lend. I'm not a money lender. I don't lend. I give. If I must give somebody money, I give the kind of money that I can forfeit. You understand? I give the
Mm-hmm.
kind of money. Somebody called me sometime ago, say, "Please, can you lend me money?" I say, "I don't have the amount." You are asking, but this is what I can afford. The one I know that I can forfeit. In case he pays back, fine. If he does not pay back, fine. You understand? So that's how I handle money.
Issues like this.
That's how I handle issues like that. You understand? So it happens. You can support a friend financially if you have. If you don't have, you give them the one you have. You offer moral support. But I don't, when it comes to money, because I know money does not grow on trees. So
Absolutely.
for me to, give somebody any amount of money, it must be something that must be accounted for. If
Mm-hmm.
I see that such a fellow is doing well, if I have a gain, I can give. But when such a
Absolutely.
fellow is not doing well, then
There is no
affliction
need.
cannot arise the second time.
There is no need. This thing, but this is a very important thing that we are talking about here because we know if a friend have an idea that could turn out big, it would be nice as friends that we support the person. There is a common saying in my that in Nigeria that look, if you are doing business, if your friends will even buy for you and pay for the things that they bought from you, you are fine already as
Mm,
a business person. Which means which is a very funny way of saying that look, if your friends wish you well, they should patronize you, they should try to help bring you up, which is
mm,
good. And at the same time, I have heard a lot of people. It's also a common saying that don't borrow money to your family members or your friends or whatsoever, you won't get it back.
mm.
Is one of the things that is advised against in financial literacy. Obviously, for valid reasons and the rest. But the human side of me also asks, imagine somebody having an idea, somebody trying to come up with something in their mom's basement and everything. And the person have friends as at that trying moment that could have been a game changer and their little financial help could have been a game changer for that person, and they all desist from doing it because you are not supposed to give money to a friend or a family member, blah blah blah. Do you know how that person's story? Do you know that I believe that a dream could be killed even with that kind of philosophy?
Yeah, you're right. A dream could be killed, but there's something you have to understand about dreams.
Good.
Understand? I might have a dream and I have a friend, and I share that my dream with my friend. That my friend might not automatically buy into the dream because he did not have that dream. I'm the one that have the dream.
I have the dream.
I have the dream. I have seen the end of the tunnel from the beginning.
Yes.
Although when God shows you a dream, when God shows you a vision, He shows you the beginning, He shows you the end of it, the glorious end of it, but He will not show you the middle. So that middle there is hard work. It's what you must put in. So when you share that idea with a friend, he might not buy it. If he does not buy it, that does not mean he's not your friend. It only means that he did not see the dream. He does not have the dream. You are the one that have the dream. So
Mm.
my advice for such a person is build the dream. When you build that dream, go through, do that work, that middle that you were not shown. Put in the work because that middle that you were not shown is the work for you to get to that glorious end. So put in the work. When you put in the work, because you are the one that have I'm the one that have the dream.
Mm-hmm.
I must put in the work. When I put in the work and it begins to show, that my friend, as soon as he begins to see the light, then he will begin to understand it. You understand? If you look at what the
Mm.
Bible says, Habakkuk chapter 2, when you read it from verse 3, it says, write the vision down because you are the one that they gave. I'm the one that they gave the vision. What I must do was I must write it down. Somebody came to me years ago He told me about his vision, how he wanted to build a city. It was a fascinating vision, but I did not buy it because I am not the one that saw the vision.
Mm-hmm.
God did not show me the vision. We all have the different kind of vision. The way God relates with me is different from the way God will relate with another person. So since he's the one that have the vision, I told him, build that vision. There's a way you build the vision to an extent. As soon as I begin to see the light in that vision, then I can buy the vision. But in the initial stage, I might not buy it. Look at Joseph,
Mm-hmm.
for example, in the Bible. When God showed him what he would be, he shared the idea with his brother. They did not buy it. In fact, they wanted to kill him because they read different meanings into it.
To it.
You understand? But when time came, when he has gone through that walk, because God did not show him that he was going to be sold, though. God did not show him that he was going to go into prison. They were going to jail him. God only showed him the glorious end. You understand? So he put in
Yes.
the work because if God had showed him that the middle, he would not be willing because there's hard work. If God has shown that look, you will go to prison, he will not go, he will not be willing. If God has shown that he will be sold to Egyptian, he will not be willing. If God has shown that his brothers will almost kill him, he will not be willing. You understand? So he put in the work, went through that rigorous middle to emerge. So when the brothers now saw that he has emerged, then they all came from Israel to Egypt, and they were given a portion called Goshen as at that time. And that was
Mm.
where they flourished. So
Yes.
when I have a dream, I share it because I want support with my friend, and he does not bite. I won't be worried. I won't be sad. I won't be angry with such a fool. It's not my friend because God did not reveal that dream to him. I'm the one that he revealed it to. So what I must do, I must put in the work. When I put in the work and they begin to see light, because you don't light a candle and put it under the bushel. You
No.
raise it up, put it on the mountain top so that people can see. So when I have put in that work, definitely the candle will light up. And when the candle light up, not just that my friend will see it, every other person will see it. And that is when they will begin to buy the idea. When they begin to buy the idea, then the dream will begin to flourish the more. That is when I'll now see the glorious end that I was shown in the initial stage. You understand? Now look at Facebook. Let me bring
Yes.
it down to what we are doing. Facebook, when he
Mm.
shared his idea,
Mm-hmm.
many of his friends did not buy it. You understand? Many of his
That's so
friends did not
true.
buy it. It was very, I think one or two of them that bought the idea.
Mm.
But today he's not the only one that has Facebook. There are many people because a lot of people have seen the dream
They invested on it.
and they began to invest. But that initial stage was not like that. Even his closest of friends did not buy it.
Not at
You
all.
understand? Until he put in the work. So when you put in the work, the light will definitely come. When they see the light, not just those your friends that refuse in the initial, the whole world will be willing to invest. You understand? So when
That's
I have that dream, I will not, and my friend does not say, I will not bother because I'm the one that they showed that God showed the dream. God did not show
mm.
him. So I must put in the work. When I put in the work and it emerges, definitely not just him, a lot of people will be willing to invest.
Be willing to buy into it. Thank you so very much for your breaking down of this particular aspect. It is very, very interesting. I like the way it is in the sense that most of our friends as humans are the hardest to place when it comes
Mm,
to maybe you doing one or two things as form of business or whatever you are doing. At the same time, most of our friends, our ride or die hard fans as well. So it's a mixture of both when it comes to
mm,
issues like this. In fact, excuse me,
mm,
most of our friends actually push us to do things that we are ourselves alone cannot do. So that's the reason why I generally believe that we need to be able to have good friends. And secondly, when it comes to sharing of burden, people to talk to, having a trust confidant, and the rest. You need it to as a human being. You know, one of our discussions some time ago, we were discussing about mentorship, having a somebody that you can trust on and everything. We made reference to even our spouses and every other figure that could be in our life. But friends too could really be some of the confidence that we have. You made example earlier on when you said some things happen in your life personally, sometimes back that you didn't even share with your family members, but you shared
mm,
with a particular friend, which who is not related to you by blood. So
mm,
those things do happen, and your case is not the only one. There are thousands of people around the world whose case will be like that. And that is the reason why I believe it is important that this particular point is explained to the best of our ability. And I believe it proved useful to people that are watching us and those that will come around across our video earlier on. I would like to read some comments, and because I'm getting ready to conclude our show tonight, let hear what Tiasha have to say concerning this particular aspect. She said, I will and I have helped a friend in need, financially or another way. I fed people who didn't have, even not for friends, okay? Just anybody as well that is in need. The bed was given to people in need. That's not even an issue, okay? Where it shouldn't be when you generally care for other human beings. But my help stops when I'm being taken advantage of. If you are not ready to accept the help, take it as it stepping stone, okay? I'm sorry, this is just as much as I can do. If you become stagnant by my help and expect me to take all the lead, uh, let's see the continue. There's a reason why people say we should move in silence. However, even though a friend doesn't have the same dream, even if they do not have the same passion, their duty is to support. Okay. I think here she's making reference to not having the same dream or whatsoever. When
yeah,
possible, their duty is to support. And if they think we are going down the stream and might fall, all it takes is to communicate their sense, but not to shut the dream, but to open the other door. Okay. This is a different take entirely, which I also should, because there is no perfect, how do they say, this is not a one heart fit all kind of idea when it comes to issues like this. Yes, I share your opinion. Her point of view is also, even if you do not share, you do not see the dream, when possible, support as well that person's dream.
yeah,
Okay, this could also be true, Mr. Obin. If there are people, I will relate. I don't know if you know of Nord Autos in Nigeria.
Nord
The
Autos.
Yeah, it's one of the emerging auto vehicle brand in Nigeria as we speak at the moment.
Mm,
The guy used the owner or the creator
mm,
used to work for Mercedes
okay.
Benz in Nigeria, and was actually the one, he led a division, their auto van division, and along the line, while he was working in dealership program, he expanded the minivan dealership program in Nigeria when it comes to Mercedes Benz in his experience. And in 2013, he was trying to get more dealers, more people to take up dealership program in with Mercedes Benz. I watch his podcast. I watch doing business in Nigeria, the postcards of doing business in Nigeria. And for anybody that is interested in a program like that, I will encourage you guys to go watch it, because I like stories of this nature. What I'm saying is that the idea, the idea he was trying to convince people to become dealers and everything of Mercedes Benz. The person was telling, if you really saw this dream, if you really buy, if you genuinely believe this thing, why don't you do it yourself? I don't know if
Mm.
you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Somebody,
yeah.
it's like me presenting an idea to you. This is, I genuinely believe that this thing will be good. Please, Obina, do this thing, this and that. And the guy said, if you really believe this thing, do it
Mm,
yourself.
mm,
You understand?
yeah.
And along the line, he was able to raise funds and everything and got started. Not autos, they do buses and everything. They actually do durable cars that are rugged, that will
Mm,
be able to withstand rough terrain as it is back home in Nigeria. So I will encourage you to look at it. And the podcast is on YouTube if you have the time. Take a look.
okay.
It's a young man, and I really like his wisdom and his approach and everything. So what am I saying? Even with Tiasha's idea too, it is possible for one not to actually see your dream and also support it and also
Mm,
encourage you
to
to
do it.
do it. It is also possible. And I will not also knock anyone that do not see the dream and really do not buy into it, because at times in life, people want to see you, just like you said, work on your dream, become that thing, and they are ready to break down the any barrier for you to, because they have seen it. Some of us are doubting Thomas.
Mm,
Doubting Thomas, even though we say hyperbole and everything, is is the way that most people live as well. They want to give their support until when that thing has come to fruition already. So
yeah.
that is also possible. There is no one idea that is completely 100% key in this area. And however, if you are able to support your friend, please do. I for one, as Pedro, I really believe I share that idea. That was the reason why I said, if, for instance, we are not able to support our friends and they really need that support, as at that time, it may be their dream going down the drain, like most dreams in life. Mr. Obina, when did you talk to your friend? When last did you call your friend?
Um, well, it
If
depends
you
on.
have anybody that you can describe as your friend, do you talk often?
We talk often, but not. There are some. It depends. It depends because most times they might be busy, and most times myself I might be busy.
Of
But
course.
that does not mean that they are not in my mind. Not that does not mean that I don't speak with them. I might not speak with them for maybe a month, but whenever we speak, the conversation is most times very long. You understand? To cover up for those days that we or those gap that we were not able to speak because
Hmm.
people are busy, busy life, family life, and all those things are demanding. So, but that does not mean that they are out of mind. We might not be in contact. There are some of them, very few of them that we are always in contact, and there are some that we are not in contact that much. There was some time, I remember some time that yourself, me and your both of us, we might not speak. But when we might not speak for a while, for like a month or so, we might not have spoken. But when we finally speak, we can speak for like 2 hours, you know, trying to catch up with those, gap. And that is how it is with others. There are some I call and there are some I don't even call. But that does not mean they are out of my mind. They are not, they might be out of sight, but they're not out of mind. So whenever we talk, we still, you know, cover up for those um, times that we were not able to talk due to our busy schedules. So we talk.
That's
Most me and my friends we talk, but some of them
that's
are
so
not
true.
often. Some of them are very often.
That's so true. That is how it is. That is how it is on my end too. And Excuse me, whoever is watching us tonight, I would really encourage you all to call your friends. It is very important, and then whenever you can. You are right, Mr. Obina. There are some friends that if even if we don't talk every day, whenever we hit each other up, we start where we left, and
Exactly. Of
uh, and they may not even be close to us. They are updated on everything that we do.
course, of course.
It is unbelievable. I can say this of you, I can say this of Tiasha, I can say this of my friend Mark Sotoye in Lagos. I can it's unbelievable. Whenever we meet, it catches up. So
Definitely.
endeavor to call your friends. It is very, very important. If you can, please do it. It's gonna make a lot of difference in their life as well. Thank you so very much, Mr. Obina. I really appreciate it. It is an honor for me as always.
Thank
I
you so much.
appreciate your time and the effort. These discussions are not easy. It might look simple to us, but I am telling you, having conversations out there in the world and everything, they are very, very, they are things that causes you to reflect and think
Mm,
about your life personally. And I can guarantee you that most people don't want to do it.
mm.
So I really appreciate the time. It is very, very important for me. And I really want you to know that, look, every seconds and every moment you spent with me has been a blessing. And I really want you to know that I appreciate it. And my regards to your family. It is an honor for me to have you again once. And thank you to Tiasha, thank you to EC, Degbenebo, and every other one that liked and shared the video. I appreciate you all. Without you, I wouldn't be here. I appreciate the time and effort that you put into watching us every Saturday. It's something very, very important for me. And as always, Pedro Apollo Podcast, we continue to provide topics and discussion that will continue to be of your interest, and above all, educational, uplifting. That is what I have promised and will continue to do so. Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure for me. Until
Thank you
next
so
week,
much.
Saturday, do have a lovely one. Bye bye, everyone. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you too. Thank you too. God bless you. Thanks everyone. Thanks for the commentators as well. God bless you all. Thank you for
Perfect.
having me too.
Without them, it wouldn't work. As
Yeah.
always, let's dance a little bit with our little jingle.
Okay. Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's dance. Yes.
Yes. And please share the video. Give us your comment, whatever you think about it. We would like to hear back from you. Bye, everyone. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao. Bye. Bye.